So tell me about the Protea House.
Well, the Protea House, I like to think of it as kind of our mission statement, our value statement. It kind of encompasses everything that we stand for. So you've got the pillars of the Protea House, which is teamwork and communication. And the foundation of our house is hard work and flexibility. The roof of the house is quality, and surrounding or encompassing our house is family. And I think anybody who sees that, it resonates with you, because that is kind of what we strive for day in and day out.
So it's always a little funny when you see companies put in the word family. It's always a little cheesy. What do you feel about the inclusion of family within the set of values?
I think the differentiating, or for me personally, when I think of family in the context of the Protea House, is from a genuine standpoint, we are not just talking about your Protea family. And I think that with the family, when you look at our Protea House, it's a great reminder that Protea cares about your family, because that is what the family element of, and I think there are a lot of key components of our Protea House that talk to one another. So flexibility comes to mind. That flexibility is there to enable you to spend time with your family when needed. And interestingly enough, that you sort of hone in on the family thing. Something that we do at Protea, as opposed to, we have a few sort of social gatherings in a year, but I think a lot of companies, when you think of sort of a get together in the year, it is the sort of year-end celebration, where the team gets together and has a celebration. Cheers to completing another year. But the most valued day, I would say, at Protea is our family day, where we have the team come together with their families to say thank you to them for their support. And because I think we recognize that it's not just the team member that's at play when it comes to putting in the effort in that. There are sacrifices made along the way by their family members, as maybe working a bit later one night or whatever the case may be. But I think that's kind of it's not cheesy to me, because that is sort of the way I interpret it, is that it's an all-encompassing family.
Would you say the family day is the most important day of the year?
It absolutely is. In fact, as I dabbled in the social sphere at Protea last year, and I can say, any other function was, obviously with COVID coming into play, any other function was sort of definitely not mandatory, or didn't even get a second thought. But we really endeavored to get something together for Family Day. So each year, I would say that is sort of the crown jewel of our events, is to say thank you to the team and their families.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's just such a special day. I really always enjoy it. Obviously, through last year not being able to attend and just seeing the pictures, it was a low point for me for sure in last year. Like it's one of those events that I truly enjoy being a part of, seeing people's kids growing up and catching up with their spouses. It's just such a fun day, just to sort of see how people interact with each other, and just see a different side of them. So I really enjoy that day, and for me as well, I think it's the most important day of the year. You mentioned the two pillars of Protea being communication and teamwork. What do you mean by teamwork?
I think just sort of a caveat to what I'm, to sort of my explanation surrounding it. In the environment that we operate in, and I mention it quite often, we do operate as a dispersed team. Now, if I think the biggest risk to operating in sort of a dispersed environment is that the job or work becomes purely transactional. So what we do essentially to counteract that is we have a lot of tools in place to foster teamwork. So what exactly is teamwork? I mean, if you think about it, and again, I think about the from my personal experience, how exactly can this team work? We are on opposite continents, and this is where teamwork comes into play. We need to be a well-oiled machine in terms of the support we provide each other, in terms of getting the work done and getting the highest quality product to our clients. So teamwork is something that we focus on quite a lot. And again, that goes hand in hand with communication. And again, for the very same reasons of us being a dispersed team, and it works. We focus on it. We encourage the team to remember. We always say, go back to the Protea House. What are our pillars? Because that is something that is absolutely critical. We don't have the luxury of just sticking your head around the corner into someone's office and asking them something. We really need to be more mindful and cognizant of our function, our role within the team, and sort of getting them to work together, because there's a lot of moving pieces. It is, you could be on several teams as someone at Protea, and there are deliverables all over the place. There's, you're not just sort of, it is something, as any accounting or auditing professional would attest to. There's a lot going on, and there's always a lot of moving pieces. So you really need to have your team support and all be on the same page in order to get through each day's deliverables, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel it doesn't matter where you are, whatever type of environment you are, like teamwork is so critical. And for me, teamwork is really understanding how you affect other people and what you're doing affects other people. And then understanding how would you be treated. And for me, it comes down to kindness, right? I'm going to be kind to that person and understand that they might have a difficult time. I'm going to be kind to them and understand that they have deadlines. I'm going to be kind to them and understand that they might be struggling. And if I'm sort of paying attention to all of that and understanding, like, how would I want to be treated in a perfect world? And I treat people the same way, I feel like the cogs just start spinning. And for me, I think last year obviously was a really difficult year, but the teamwork really stood out. There, people clearly had difficult times. People clearly had difficult days, but nothing sort of gave in the system. If anything, the team performed better than ever. Things were just moving really, really slowly in our world, even though in the real world, everything was moving really, really quickly. There was tons of legislation changes, new rules all the time. But because the team were working so well together, it just felt like we always had time. We're always ahead of the curve. And I think that was just because everybody's looking after each other. And that's just a sign of really good teamwork to me.
Yeah, Zane, I mean, I like what you say about kindness, because you're that is something that you drive home a lot, and sort of driving from the top. And I think that, just listening to your definition of teamwork, the team, we got together not too long ago, obviously in the virtual space for a teamwork session. And the takeaway, I said, if you take one thing away from the session, just remember that in any situation you find yourself in, put yourself in the other person's shoes. How would you, what would you expect from them? What would you expect from them so that you can get on with what you need to get on? And empathy, understanding where the other person's coming from, and sort of, modeling. That's the kind of, we want to mirror that behavior. And if everybody's doing that, if everybody's practicing kindness, I mean, it just makes the team so much more cohesive.
Yeah. And, I was reminded of how much we do look after each other this week. We have a team member that's going through a very unfortunate time in their lives. And, sent an email to another team member, said, "Hey, can you help out?" There's no, I'm busy. There was nothing. They jumped in, got the work done. ahead of deadline that I gave them as well. And, seeing that type of behavior, it makes me feel like, we really are caring about each other and really looking after each other. And I think that's just really, really important.
It is, and I think that's a brilliant example, because we see that in some shape or form every other day, every other week, where you've got team members stepping up to the plate and sort of, we need to get this done. I also think that I come back to our Protea House, and what I said about family is the sincerity behind it, because I think that oftentimes a lot of companies are big on lip service. And I mean, I think you can agree with me from, previous experience, or just understanding the climate and how, sort of how companies operate, in that there is a lot of lip service. It is,
Welcome to California. Tons of wildfires.
okay.
Don't see any smoke, but it's definitely a fire.
I mean, that's a good sign, so you're in the clear for a little bit for now.
Yeah, I don't know. We're surrounded by mountains, so you never know. I can sort of see a charred black top of a mountaintop right here, but that was a controlled burn. And then just 2 days ago, within the suburbs over here, there was a vegetation fire, they called it, which brought 4 trucks in. So it can get a little out of control.
That's pretty hectic. That's now I understand why you have your bag ready at home.
Yep.
I think